I'm not going to call it a bad move, but I'm still not happy, Skip Bayless. First of all, no disrespect to Johnny Damon and Roger Clemens. The latter I don't care too much about, as you well know. I'm not fond of having members of the Boston Red Sox become members of the New York Yankees. Mm-hmm. We don't need them. That's number one. Number two, 7 years, I don't like this. This dude is 30. I believe he turns 31 in September. I don't like the fact that this dude is getting a 7-year, $153 million deal. His success, now he's a lifetime 297 batter, so that's impressive. I'm going to give him that. And obviously the man can steal bases, and, you know, again, his game is predicated on speed, so I appreciate that. But the problem is, that's what I have a problem with the 7 years. Because really, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, you're going to be that way? Now, in 2 of the last 4 years, in 2010, this dude played 18 games. In 2012, he played 74 games, okay? Now, last year he played 134. In 2011, he played 158. Even though I find it really suspicious, I'm sorry to say this, because I don't want to cast aspersions on anybody. But Skip, in 2011, this dude hit 32 home runs. Over the last 2 years, he has a combined 13 home runs. I find that a bit strange. I'll leave it at that. So in the end, what it comes down to is this. He's a speedster. I think in the short term, speaking to the great Tim Kirkchin last night, educating me about this, in the short term, it's a good thing for the New York Yankees. And really the first 3 years. After that, once he approaches age 34 and beyond, Skip, I mean, this could be a problem. And we already got that problem with A-Rod. Okay? So I don't like that. Not to mention the fact that even though the Yankees, thank the good Lord, they finally admitted they've lied to us when they're talking about getting under that $189 million threshold, they clearly are not lying, because considering what they've paid on him and McCann, that's over $210 million. So we appreciate that. Okay, $220 million. But my point to you is they still need pitching. CC Sabathia took it down with that. I think he'll resurrect himself, but you need more. You need more from him. Need Kuroda. You need about 2 to 3 legitimate starters in a rotation to upend the Boston Red Sox and compete. And I don't know if this does it. So to me, you're spending this money in the years on this dude who's a former Red Sox, okay, coming to the New York Yankees. I'm not, listen, short term, it should be all right. But bottom line is, I ain't ecstatic about this, to say the least.
Help me out. Did the Yankees make the
No, they didn't, Skip.
Thank you. Just for the record.
They didn't.
You know
Watch
what?
your mouth.
He's so mean.
You know what just happened? Once again, post-George Steinbrenner, the great George Steinbrenner, we agree on this.
Yes.
This organization has never been the same. And once again, it overreacted and hilariously overpaid and overextended for a player who, as you point out, has turned 30 years of age, and in those previous years, he's made a grand total of 1 All-Star team. Jacoby Ellsbury's made 1 All-Star team in his whole career.
I like it.
And all of a sudden, as he turns 30, we look back at the last 4 years, to be a little more down to the numbers here, he missed 264 games over the last 4 years. You know why? He's a tough kid. But he will run himself into injury after injury after injury. He's always nicked up. Something's always wrong. He'll run into the wall in center field, or stealing bases is not exactly the safest thing to do in this day and age. And he has led the league in stolen bases 3 times. So, Stephen A., how can you go to 7 years for Jacoby Ellsbury? It's because if you can't beat him, you effectively have to join him. You have to go get somebody away from the Boston Red Sox that you think will hurt the Boston Red Sox, and he'll hurt a little bit, but not a lot. He played through some injuries through the playoffs last year, in part because I'm sure Scott Boras is saying, we need you, we need you. You got to tough it out here because you're in a contract drive year. Is he going to do it now that he got 7 years from the New York Yankees? This is preposterous money for Jacoby Ellsbury. It's Stephen A., he's won 1 Gold Glove. He had 1 breakout year. Might be an outlier year. Back in 2011, when he had, as you said, 32 home runs. What did he have? 105 RBIs. Did win his only Gold Glove that year. Was second in the MVP voting, which he should have been. Maybe should have won it that year. Okay, is that an aberration? Maybe. Again, can he jumpstart your offense? Is he one of the best leadoff hitters in baseball? He's right there at the top. If he's in the lineup. But as I tweeted late last night, Yankee fans, enjoy watching Jacoby Ellsbury on the DL because he will be on the DL. Just mark my word. Just look at what history has told you through those first, 7, 8 years. Look at the last 4. Stephen A., it's a hilariously bad deal for your Yankees.
It's hilariously bad in the long term. I agree with that. In the short term, I sort of see what they're doing. I don't like it for the long term at all. I don't like it overall because I think it sends a bad message. But what this says to me is that you're trying to preserve the life of some others. For example, when you talk about him in leadoff, you're preserving Derek Jeter. You're helping Derek Jeter, who's coming back off an ankle injury where he only played 17 games.
Is he going to be your starting shortstop?
He may be. He should be compared to what they had on the field last year for the New York Yankees. I mean, a bunch of no-names.
How old is he now?
Horrendous. 39 going on 40. Not good, but again, you didn't play last year, so you can't think about the age because pretty much last year you had off. So here you have to look at it from this standpoint. Jacoby Ellsbury had 52 steals last year. Only got caught 4 times. You need that in your lineup. You need the speed in the outfield because you're going to have Gardner. You're going to have Gardner in left. You're going to have Soriano in right or to be in DH for you. The combination of that stuff. Soriano is the strongest dude in the world out there. So it's one of those situations where Ellsbury's speed will help offset a lot of stuff offensively and defensively.